So I wanted to share a few announcements. Oh, thank you. What? Oh, no, it's not on. I'm not on.
Maybe it's bring the microphone down. It's really hard.
Is that better? Yes, that's great. Thanks. We wondered if we could have two practice leaders, one for 10:30, the 10:30 sit. Thank you, Rebecca, and for 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Thanks, Lynn. And then we also wanted to say that there will be no yoga tomorrow morning in the very early morning, the 6:50 yoga, 6:50 a.m. yoga. There will be no yoga tomorrow morning. And also another reminder, please everyone come to the 4 p.m. sit this afternoon where we will begin some of our closure announcements and communications. And then to acknowledge this is our last full day together, and we have the wonderful opportunity later on this evening, instead of a Dharma talk, you probably noticed that on the schedule, to come together as a community and share our experiences with each other after the 7 p.m. sit at 7:30. So that's optional. If you would rather maintain the continuity of your silence, then please feel supported to do that in your room. And we would like you to know we would also love to hear from you. I'm speaking as the community now, to give word and voice to how this retreat has been for you in that circle. And then sometimes as we near the end of a retreat, just because those conditions change, it gives rise to future planning, or just some way where the mind notices that we're not dropping in as deeply, that there's a little more restlessness or skittishness, sort of moving more into planning. And if that's happening, just to acknowledge that and to invite a reconnection. I didn't mention yesterday one of the deep seats of empowerment that lives inside of us, and it is the law of karma. I think we did mention it before once, and that is that every intention manifests. Every intention manifests. And what's so beautiful about what we're doing here is that we are aligning our minds or our intentions to growing and cultivating what brings peace and freedom. We're growing and aligning our minds to what is more natural rather than socially constructed. What is our natural expression as life, as queer life. And so when we talk about, noticing what's happening, in the background is that understanding. In noticing, I am finding myself in the seat of empowerment again, of choosing where I put my mind. The Buddha said that the mind is the forerunner of all things, the creator of all things. And so in this creation, in this ongoing process of creation, we choose where to put our minds. And that's so beautiful. It feels like it's the essence of what we describe as dignity and honor, is that capacity which not all of life has to choose. And so we choose, we can intend to come back to this present moment in relationship. I said, I think earlier on in one of the question and answer periods, that we are not continuing the kind of abandonment that happens around life in this culture, but in rethreading and rebuilding relationships with ourselves and each other. And we are doing that through being present, because unless you're present, you can't relate. So we are building relationships and connections with the unfolding process. And the dynamic of that is karma. And so intending that, however you would like to frame it, has a consequence. The Buddha says it never ever gets lost, that our intentions never ever get lost. They always come to fruition. We don't know when, but they always come to fruition. So every intention is planting a seed. And that can become the grounds of incredible faith. Every intention, even if I don't feel any access to mindfulness now or presence, may I be mindful. May I call awareness in. I like that better. May I call awareness in. May I call friendliness in. I know I don't feel it now, but I know in calling it, intending it, or inclining my mind to it, that then it will come, and I can rest in that certainty. It is a certainty, the Buddha said. It's a certainty. So this opportunity to have the time and the support to remember and to incline is so precious, and the invitation is for this full day to use it. Yeah. Use it. Receive the gift. And so then I also wanted to follow up a little bit from the Dharma talk last night in this invitation to open the enclosure that we have found ourselves in through the intertwining of our habitual minds and the society we live in. And one of the ways that we can become aware of that is to notice the quality of our relationship to our experiences, and to see in our knowing, in the awareness, if there's some sense of I am being aware, I am directing this being, or if it's possible to invite awareness to be aware, so that it is awareness being aware, not I am being aware. So when we talk about karma and inclining the mind, we're actually inclining awareness to be aware. Remembering wisdom is inclining the mind. Actually, there's no I inclining the mind. It's wisdom that has awoken in that moment and sees that what's skillful is the inclination towards kindness or presence. And what's magnificent about this process is that it's there already, and it's right view or right understanding, that first part of the Eightfold Path that guides us. Oh, there actually isn't an enclosure that is I. There's awareness being aware. There's wisdom seeing clearly what is skillful. And by wisdom inviting that, we come to see that increasingly clearly. So just practicing for a moment. Sound is very easy. As you hear the sound, see if there is awareness to the hearing or I am hearing. No judgment, because it's just awareness seeing. This is how it is. Awareness hearing. The hearing is hearing. Just sound and the hearing. Actually no I. Relaxing into the sitting, giving the whole weight of your body into the support that the earth is giving. And it might be helpful to surrender any sense of doing. Sound, nature hearing it, awareness. Allowing awareness to know the experience that's happening right now. Life is living and communicating itself, and awareness, presence knows it. It might be hard or tight like a tree or a rock. Open and soft like a gentle sun just rising. Vibration, fluttery, foggy, clear. Nature unfolding and being known. Nowhere to go. There is not a wrong experience, just like there's not a wrong tree. If it feels difficult, then just come back to the breath. If there's wanting or not wanting, an expression of nature, noticing it. Pleasant or unpleasant, just noticing it. Nature arising and passing. If there's owning or eyeing or selfing, just noticing it. life calling awareness to connect. Love calling itself into being. Awareness sees our intentions to be aware and kind, and is strengthened. See how your deepest intention is to be present and kind. See how it's living in your body. It might be possible to relax a little bit more, knowing this presence and kindness. Allowing the space awareness gives for the body to live as it's living, and the mind to live as it's living. Thank you for your practice. As we go through this day, see if you would like to check in every now and again and offer the question, who is seeing, or who is walking, or who is tasting, who is hearing?
Thank you for listening. To learn how you can support the teachers and Dharma Seed, please visit dharmaseed.org/donate.